It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, September 3rd. I hope you had a fabulous long weekend. It was a really long weekend. I mean, it wasn't long enough. Is any weekend ever long enough? But it was a good, productive weekend. Got to see a lot of friends, family, do things around the house. Also, very tough weekend for those who are Jewish that are following the news. But my job here is not to go serious. We're trying to keep things light and tight. And there's so many stories that we have to cover on the show that are reality TV related, pop culture related, and those are dark enough. So let's keep the dark stories to the Patreon. If you want to get depressed, listen to my Patreon this week. I did talk all about being Jewish these days in 2024 on Patreon this weekend. So make sure to go over and listen to that. We also covered a few stories that we're going to have to touch on today. And, you know, uh, I'm still a little bit in shock because I just saw an article about Rachael Ray. And I don't know if you guys remember when I started watching her Tuscany show and how she walks around with her glass of wine in every scene. You never see her without her glass of wine. So I just saw an article about her that I feel like I need to add to today's show in a last minute audible. You know what I mean? So everyone get comfy, get cozy. We are starting the show. Welcome to Daily Dose of Donna. Do you ever have those days where you look in the mirror and you're like, I don't look the same? I did something different in my makeup today and I can't place it. I think I know what it is. And I look legit like Beetlejuice. I look like a ghost. I think I figured out what it was like just now as I'm looking at myself in the camera. I think I left out my tinted sunscreen, which is a big problem for me. So I use like a little, I just use Elf. That's my favorite brand because it's cheap and it looks great and it works. And it's a tinted, it's called like Whoa Glow. And it's a tinted sunscreen. And every single day I use it because it gives you that little glow. And I didn't put it on today. And now I literally look like, I really do look like I'm back from the dead. That's maybe how I feel. Oh, some of my favorites are in the comments already. Welcome on in. I did watch Beetlejuice this weekend. Was it Friday or Saturday night? Now I can't remember. We had a movie night. We showed the kids and Lance Beetlejuice in preparation, of course, for the upcoming Beetlejuice movie, which I asked. I was like, is it a remake or a sequel? And they all told me it's a sequel, which is a little concerning. Sequels always concern me. What sequel is better than the original? I'm just curious. Which one? Maybe Back to the Future 2. Maybe Back to the Future 2 is the one sequel that's better than the original. You guys tell me what sequels you like. Do we have to talk about this Rachael Ray story really fast? Because it's wild to me. Well, it's not really wild. It's actually pretty sad. But Rachael Ray is, um, she is, where's my phone? Oh, good. I have it here. She is quite a interesting watch. Now, a lot of you guys remember Rachael Ray from like 30-minute meals, us growing up. Oh my gosh, a lot of you guys feel Godfather 2. Frozen 2? Frozen 2 is not better than Frozen 1. I'm in shock over this. Shock. So Rachael Ray, she had such a career. She had such an incredible, brand, all her lines of cookware. And then, of course, she had her TV show, her talk show. I just remember seeing her recently when I was watching Bethany Ever After. Bethany goes and shows up on Rachael Ray's show. But then, like, Rachael Ray is one of those people that kind of just like fell off, right? For me, she fell off my world. I wasn't really paying attention. And then a few months ago, one of you guys told me, Donna, you need to binge watch the Rachael Ray in Tuscany show. and I forget where I found it. I found it on one of the streaming services. But this show is called, let me see, Rachael Ray Tuscan. Yeah, it was a show, Tuscan Home. I mean, what was now I can't find the name of the show. Italian Dream Home. Is that what it's called? It's basically, yeah, Rachel Ray's Italian Dream Home. This was in 2022. So I don't know where you can find it, but I found it on one of the, whether it was Amazon Prime or Hulu or whatever. This was in 2022, and I'll just tell you this. It has a 1-star review on IMDb. 1 star, which is rare. But the reason why it gets such a bad review is if you watch it, I don't think you can understand in your mind how unhinged this woman has become. And it's actually really sad because I do believe, without diagnosing her, I do believe there's some sort of problem there. I don't know if it's a health related issue, a medication related issue, or what can only be assumed as an alcohol issue just because of her drinking in every scene of this reality show. Now, the first episode, she comes on and she's like, I am going to have a glass of wine because we're in Tuscany, but it's 7 a.m. and she's meeting with the painter. Like, this is not, we're on vacation and we are living this beautiful dream, with this view overlooking with this food. She's like working. She's meeting with a painter and a construction guy. And she's like, must drink wine, have to drink wine. Anyway, so it is quite a story. But she just recently released an Instagram post that, I don't know if I saw it on Page 6, Daily Mail, who knows where they said fans are getting a little concerned because of just her approach and her way of speaking about Tony Bennett. So I was watching it right before I jumped on with you guys, and I wonder, do you guys want to watch it together for just a moment so you can kind of see what I'm talking about? And then you can make um your own feelings from it, so I don't have to, I wouldn't want to in any way change your minds on it. But let's watch it really briefly and you let me know what you think about Rachael Ray today.
Came to my house, Tony Bennett ate 2 portions of ossobuco, and I almost killed him. I had polished the floors in the kitchen because, well, Tony Benedetto, that's his full last name. Tony Bennett's coming to dinner. I have to make sure the floors are perfect and the house is clean and everything is just amazing. I might have gone a little overboard with the floors because when I pulled out the chair for Tony to sit down for his starter snacks and aperitivo, the chair slid out from under him and he hit his head on my marble counter behind him and he fell to the floor, and I thought I killed Tony Bennett. I thought I killed him, literally. And his wife, Susan, so glorious. She says to me, Rachel,
you can go back and watch the rest of the video for time purposes because it goes on for a long time. And I really want to fast forward it because I don't know about you guys. And I take your notes and your feedback. In the first few months of me doing Daily Dose of Donna, you can go back to earlier episodes if you want to make fun of me. I definitely paused a lot more in my communication because I was very much, I struggled with like how to read your comments and take them in and like listen to them and understand what you guys are saying, but also talk. I think I've gotten better. I think it's a little bit of a skill. I also like to listen to podcasts and everything on 1.25 or 1.5 speed. But so, on Instagram, you can't do that. On TikTok, you can listen to things faster. Did you guys know that you can hold it down and it will go to 2 times speed? So go back and listen and watch that. I really hope she's okay. I like Rachael Ray. I feel for her. And that is hard for me to see. And it feels like it's being enabled in some capacity because it's everywhere. Like she's never not that way. And she goes on camera for her Instagram accounts and all these videos with rat's nest of a hair look in the back. And it makes me sad. The whole thing makes me sad. So let's Let's move on and talk about another Rachel really fast and just like hot little gossip moments because I'm just starting to dive into this, but Michelle, my research assistant, she's not been hired, but she's officially my research assistant. She really turned me on to this a little while ago, and this is on Rachel Zoe. And we need to start deep diving right now. You heard it here first. Okay. No, you didn't hear it here first because you heard it from Michelle first. We need to deep dive and figure out what is going on with Rachel Zoe and her marriage to Roger Berman. So let's talk about it very briefly. Roger and Rachel Zoe, if you ever watched the Zoe, what was it called? The Zoe Report? What was her show called? I loved her show. She's nutty. There's no question, but I actually really like Rachel Zoe. It's so strange. Like she's not my people, and I don't think I would ever be able to be friends with her in real life. If you look at all her crew, they're all just like so rich. But she is quite a she's quite an interesting woman to follow. And if you watch the show, she's nuts. I mean, she's got it's bananas, like that vibe. Rachel Zoe Project. Okay. So, yes, Brad Goreski got his start on that show as her assistant. If you go back to watch season 1, you'll see how he was horribly treated by her other assistant, Taylor, who I went to high school with. Fun fact, I went to high school with a bunch of people you're seeing on reality shows. I went to high school with Heather Altman, Josh Altman's wife. She was younger than me. Taylor, who was 1 year younger than me. I think they were the same year. And probably so many more. A lot of the Shaws of Sunset cast for sure. So Rachel was in that show, she was an interesting character, but one of the main parts of that show was her talking about her relationship and her love and her marriage with Roger, her husband. She and Roger met years ago. Now, I can do a whole deep dive, I think, on a Patreon episode about this because I don't want to, you know, talk about things that I don't have all the details on, but I just want to just like start. Let's like open up our eyes to this. And I need you guys to help me figure out if any of this is actually just hearsay or truth. How can we do this together? I think I'll take you through a little deep dive of her Instagram, which is really all we know. She does have a podcast, which is also quite an interesting take on everything. So, this podcast, I Googled Rachel Zoe and Roger Berman a long time ago. Okay. Now, they had a podcast together called, hold on. It was called something like, what was it called? Works for Us. Works for Us. And the reason why I know about this is kind of crazy. It showed up in my YouTube algorithm, probably because I'm like searching her and YouTube is so genius with this stuff. And it was 1 week ago and it says introducing Works for Us with Rachel Zoe and Roger Berman. So when I started Googling Rachel Zoe and Roger Berman, podcast thinking, "Oh, this podcast is coming out," I realized that it all auto like everything that I'm seeing, it goes to Rachel Zoe's current podcast, which is a single podcast called Climbing in Heels. So I don't understand if this was an old podcast. I think it was an old podcast because on April 20th, 2021, there's an iHeartMedia press release saying Rachel Zoe and Roger Berman talk relationships on their new podcast. Then now she has Climbing in Heels, which is just Rachel Zoe. So I have no idea why this video popped up in my feed from 1 week ago from Rachel Zoe's Rachel Zoe's what's it called? YouTube account. I have no idea. But let's go and just like look at Rachel Zoe's Instagram account. She has a lot of content. She posts constantly. She has beautiful sons. I don't know if you remember, she has 2 sons that are just stunning. And of course, she lives a stunning life. She's got a ton of wealth, gorgeous clothing, beautiful friends. Let's watch a little bit of her content because someone pointed this out to me and I'm concerned. I'm wondering, where is this longtime love of hers, her husband of so many years, Roger Berman? Where is he? So I'll start by saying that on her Instagram account, she has, if you go through the pictures, there's, post after post after post with no Roger. The last time we saw Roger was on Father's Day, okay, 11 weeks ago. It says, "Happy Father's Day to our Roger Bermanus." I don't know. "One of the best ever to do it. Our boys are the luckiest, and we are so grateful for you." Okay, which is really sweet. So, of course, you see this and you're like, okay, they're fine. But, Roger is not a big Instagram guy from what I see. I don't think he's like posting a lot on his Instagram. Let's see if he has posted anything on his Instagram. The last he posted here was on October 8th saying, "I stand with Israel." So he is absolutely not someone that is constantly online posting. So, okay, we can take that off in terms of he's not PKing it up. Don't worry. We'll talk about PK in just a bit. So she has all these posts celebrating herself and her birthday and her kids, and lots of posts like this where they're reels, and it's about her sons, gorgeous, beautiful photos and videos of her with her kids over the summer, like living it up. Here she has a video where she says, "Life lately and all that matters, my whole world and my heart." And the pictures and the videos are really just of her and her sons. And it's a little interesting because what's happening here is you're taking someone that is not Roger is not someone that has shied away from the camera in the past. Roger, her husband, he was a co-star of the reality show. He works for her. He is a huge part of her brand. So this is not really someone that is, MIA and wants nothing to do. It's not giving Paul and Bethany. You know what I mean? It's not giving that vibe. It's giving the vibe of this was someone that was a huge mainstay of her brand, and now he's just anywhere but. Recently was her birthday. You see a guy in this picture, so you would think, oh, this is her husband. No, this is Brian Atwood, who is, a famous designer, and they're very, very close. He's also, I think, not into women, so I wouldn't worry about that. This is, a video or a photo dump that she said here saying, "All in New York 48 hours with my little gentleman. They are in awe of this magical city. What a time we had." And every single thing is her and the boys. Now, a lot of people are saying, where is maybe Roger is taking the photos, but it's weird. To me, it's weird. Why is all of a sudden Roger nowhere to be found? Here was her birthday. One day ago, she posted this, says, "Taking it all in, feeling overwhelmed with the most love for my epic friends and family." And it's a beautiful collection of these photos. And it looks like it was just a girls' party. Gorgeous, beautiful, dinner party, but no husband. And then it's a family post where she says, "Closed out summer in a favorite place by the ocean with my angels by my side for love and birthday hugs and wishes. I'm the luckiest and most grateful. Thank you for all of the birthday love and the kindest words. They are felt deeply with gratitude." And by the way, look how freaking beautiful her kids are. They're just beyond. Look at her older son. I think his name is Sky. So it's these adorable photos of her and her boys. No wedding ring. I don't know if she ever wore a wedding ring. Definitely taking a selfie here. There's no fourth person. And then it makes me sad, to be honest. It makes me sad. I really, really hope that whatever is going on is okay for them, because I actually thought that they had a real true love, like a true, true love. So let's hope that, we need to, I would love to know if anyone has any insider information. That's just some gas. Wow. Okay. I spent 20 minutes talking about Rachel's that weren't even on my list. They weren't even on my list. At least we're not talking about Rachel Leviss for the first time ever, right? Okay, let's move on to some of the stories from today. Big stories that have just kind of popped up over the weekend. As you guys know, the bigger story of the weekend was Jax Taylor in the reality world, not of the weekend, but in the reality world, was Jax Taylor and Brittany Cartwright. Jax Taylor posted on his Instagram stories. By now, I'm sure you guys have all seen it, so I'll just briefly share it, that he has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and PTSD. He said in his Instagram post, which I'll share with you guys while we talk about it, in a very I hate to say this because I really, I'm trying very, very, very hard to be kind about Jax's struggles and to be, uh, what's the word? Like sensitive to Jax's struggles. And if he truly is getting help for all of these problems, then yes, like by all means, we support, right? I just, I struggle believing Jax is doing any of this for real and not just for the likes and the comments and the views and the attention. Because if you're truly going to therapy, I don't know. Tell me, am I being nuts? Am I being crazy? Is he, am I being someone that is being, am I too like critical of this, cynical? Should I just like listen to him and just take it for what it is? So here is what he posted. He said, a little over a month ago, I checked into an intensive inpatient treatment facility, scared of the unknown and what I would find out about myself after many years of knowing something was wrong, but not knowing exactly what it was. I was recently learned that I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and PTSD. It's been a lot to process and an emotional time for me. However, I've come home to my son with a newfound sense of peace. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared for the future, but my focus is just trying to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday. Mental health is a lifelong battle of not letting it control you, but rather you learning to control it. And then says, thank you. On his Instagram stories today, he's posting, yesterday he posted actually a guy I used to work out with. This is so funny. At Training Mate, which is a workout. So clearly he's working out, but that's not new. I think Jax was always very like body conscious. And in his pool, his backyard with his son, Cruz, obviously, I don't believe that. Brittany is anywhere around there. Then he's talking about how last night there was a karaoke party. He posts like a little, you know, mindset video. And then he talks about that tonight he's hosting the Bachelorette finale at Jax's. So which one of you guys is going? Because I'm not. There's absolutely no, you couldn't pay me. He also posted this, a picture of his son looking at him 23 minutes ago saying, "What are you looking at, Dad, with his hair messy?" So obviously, as we know, they are definitely sharing custody, it looks like, and he is spending time with his dad at that house, I imagine going back and forth. I think, listen, I believe that while all of that can be true, the rumors about the husband, the rumors and the nastiness about the husband, Face Reality 16 posted a DM that she just saw that someone was just at Jax's bar and he was like partying and drinking and just like being Jax. So that's why I want to know who's going tonight. Who in this audience is going to Jax's and with eyes to see if Jax is partying it up? Because if you are diagnosed, from what I know, if you are diagnosed with PTSD, bipolar disorder, going through a divorce in public, and had to just go to 1 month of intensive inpatient treatment, I can't imagine that you're out there partying and drinking. I don't think and don't see that that is a possibility. Um, I hope for Brittany's sake, more so than actually for Brittany and Cruz's sake, I hope that what he's saying is genuine, is not just for likes and views, is real, and that he actually is getting the help and is changing who he is, because they can very easily have a wonderful co-parenting relationship as they work together. She did mention on her podcast, I don't know if you guys listened to it, but I did listen. They re-aired an old episode um, of Captain Lee with Jax and Brittany interviewing Captain Lee of their podcast When Reality Hits. But the very beginning, she talks about the divorce and how she's going through this, and she starts to cry, and it's actually really sad. She's like, I never in a million years thought I was going to have to go through this in public with all eyes on me and cameras. So thank you so much for being there. She said the podcast will continue, but we will do it separately. So I don't know if she's doing an episode and then he'll do an episode or what. It's a business decision because that is a moneymaker, their podcast. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I want to believe that he's changed. I just struggle in believing it. I do. I struggle. We've seen so many years of this. Like, think about it. They started Vanderpump Rules 15 years ago. So we've watched him for the last 15 years. We've watched him go through relationship after relationship, go through business decision after business decision, get engaged, get married, and have a kid. So if this is the moment that he finally changes, then that would be great. I just don't believe it. So one of you guys go tonight. Let me know. If not, maybe I'll have to send. I should tell Lance. Lance, if you want dinner tonight, you got to go to Jax's. He's like, wait, you're telling me I have to go to a bar for dinner? Done. Anyway, Brittany, meanwhile, is moving on. She is moving on because she is getting vibrator ads. Yes, Brittany Cartwright is now a this is going to be great for her career. I don't question Brittany's future in the world of like online influencing. I believe this was the best thing for her. I think that whenever she was with Jax, it made us like lose a little respect because we saw Jax for who he was. So it's like hard to love on someone when you hate their husband or you hate their boyfriend. So now that she's kind of doing it alone, I think we're gonna all really I don't know. I think we're going to all really kind of feel for her and love on her even more. So she posted on her Instagram, let me share the picture with you, an ad for what's the brand that she's talking about here? Belisa Co. So she says POV in my self-love era, and she's holding a vibrator. I've always done everything on my own, so I'm not going to stop now. Oh, ouch. Ouch. Um, don't tell me she wasn't using vibrators every day of her life with Jax. Apparently they never had sex. Remember that? Um, so it's just her with a lot of boob coming out of her shirt, holding all kinds of crazy different vibrators, doing some sort of sexy stare situation. Good for her. I believe Brittany is doing the right thing by continuing to keep on going. Now, they're all going to Hawaii. The whole Valley cast is going to Hawaii right now. So I'm so glad. This is a show, you guys. The budget has gone up. Last year, we were just in Lake Arrowhead. Now we're going to Hawaii. And I saw one picture of Jesse Lolly on the same plane on the like down the aisle, whatever, from Kristen Doty and not Zach, Luke, her boyfriend. So I can't wait for that show to come out, but they're still shooting. So we have a while until that comes out. Now, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, to switch it up, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is coming out earlier than that. I think November is when Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is coming out. We've seen some like little teasers because Bravo's starting to tease their new shows, since Bravo fans are like literally like, give it to us. We don't have enough content. So Beverly Hills is coming on out. And I'll tell you, I've heard some rumors about this upcoming season, and I think it's going to be phenomenal. But let's talk for a second about Dorit and PK, because PK released a video with his two kids. Obviously, as we know, PK and Dorit are separated, I believe going through a divorce, but I don't know if that's official. And Dorit is still, from what I know, in the house, the famous, infamous house with the burglary. And PK now, it looks to me like he's living either in a little, like in a nice condo, and I don't know. You can't really tell. It looks a lot smaller. Kitchen, living room are kind of open concept right next to each other. It looks very nice and fancy for sure. But he filmed, and I don't know who filmed this, because like he must have had someone film it. There's definitely some like good work here. I'm going to share it with you guys, but I can't share the song because I will get a copyright infringement, but we'll talk over it. I have to tell you, at first I was like, no, I can't do this. And then I started to say, wait, I think I'm absolutely in love with this moment. And I'll tell you why. As someone who grew up splitting time between my mom and my dad's house, if my dad ever actually just like did something fun like this with me, it would have stuck in my memories forever. And meanwhile, my dad didn't. My dad was just like out doing his own thing and didn't really give a shit that we were even there. So this, I don't know if it's again like Jax, like for the views or not. I can't play the music, of course, but the song is Nothing's Gonna Stop Us, from Mannequin. You see Jagger chewing gum, like very obnoxiously chewing gum. And then you see PK. And let's talk about PK for just 1 second here. Can I pause PK? Hold on. Also, we see Phoenix looking just like Dorit. They're both a little annoyed with dad, you can tell, and dad is dancing. Now, PK looks so slim. He looks also like he's wearing a little makeup, but he looks so slim. And a lot of people are saying, oh my God, is he on Ozempic? I think a lot of it is his not drinking. Remember, PK went sober. He completely stopped drinking like 6 or 8 months ago or whatever. So that's going to change a lot. Okay. This is creepy, right? PK's on his hands and knees climbing over to his daughter, which just looks a little creepy. It gets cute, I promise. But you can tell he looks very white, right? He looks like me today. It looks like we both forgot to wear our Woe Glow from Elf. Anyway, Phoenix is really into it. She is doing a lot of voiceover lip syncing and dancing, and she's really good at it. Like you can tell she's a little actress. This girl is going to become a little actress for sure. So they're having a little fun. They get up and they start doing some dancing together. It's actually really, really cute. Maybe Jagger's filming it, to be honest. And to me, Phoenix looks like a little mini Dorit. I wonder if Dorit watches this stuff and says to herself, like, I miss this. I want us all to be together. Or if she's like, he's such a liar. He was never like this when we were together, Now, what I do notice is that Kyle Richards is one of the first comments saying, oh my God, this is so cute. And so it makes me wonder, what is the relationship between PK, Kyle, Dorit, and Mauricio? I do believe that that PK and Mauricio are still very close. They were close recently. They both filmed something together. So I just really need this show to come out. Like I need Real Housewives of Beverly Hills now. Immediately now. Get it into our systems. Now, we are in a fun week, though, because it's September 3rd. So that means tomorrow is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, September 6th, right? Will be the beginning of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So we will definitely be covering that on the show. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Now, let's move on over to another Real Housewives story, and that is Real Housewives of OC. Tamra Judge scared the living shit out of America and the rest of the world this weekend when she posted videos and photos of her getting a brow lift, a CO2 facial, and something else. And when I tell you, when I first saw the video, I thought I was going to cry. I was like, what is actually happening here? I believe she was either paid to post it or she's either paid to post it or she is wanting to be a little bit more vulnerable with her community and trying to get maybe a little bit more sympathy because like she's not the most loved person. This is what she posted on her Instagram. I almost died when I first saw it. I was like, what is that? I swear to God, I thought she was dressing up or getting ready to be Elphaba. I'm not joking. The first video scared the living crap out of me. So let's watch this.
Molds out of Newport Beach. She works with Dr. Ambe. Yeah.
It clearly looks like she was paid to do this. She's walking us along the journey. Dr. Donald Molds in Newport Beach for a brow lift, CO2 laser, and a blue chemical peel. She said 7 years ago, I had a lower facelift, but skipped the upper. It's like painting the house, but forgetting the trim. Stay tuned for updates. As you can see, she has a green face, a blue face. I don't even know. It's wild. She looks... She said 3 hours later, this is what she looks like. And just wait until you see it the next day. This is, I think, day 3. She looks like she got taken in a fire. It's awful to watch. It's awful. But she basically is saying how the swelling's making a statement. She says progress isn't always pretty, but it's happening. She's scabbing up. It looks so painful. And apparently she told Kate Casey that she can't even really watch TV because she can't even open her eyes. Like, she is in so much pain. You guys, she better come out looking like, I don't know, like Margot Robbie. Like, you have to come out looking perfect if you go through this kind of pain. It's really, really sad, actually, that women have to do this, right? Like, well, you don't have to, but I don't think she did it. I think Tamra was a very pretty woman even before. This is yesterday. It was her birthday. She said today is actually day 3, taking it one step at a time. It's really bad, you guys. I hope she's going to feel better, and I hope that she's going to look better. But she even like made a joke. She said, "My mom is, you wonder where I get my empathy." She goes, her mom sent her a text that she posted saying, "Your face literally makes me want to throw up. It looks so painful and you don't look like yourself. One of my friends called and asked if you had been in a motorcycle accident." Let's see if she posted any updates of today. These are all birthday updates. I want to see if she posted anything today. Oh my God, her son says, "Sweet Jesus, I'm glad you survived the fire." This is her 47 minutes ago. It better be worth it. Like, what are you doing? Okay. So anyway, meanwhile, on the other side, Vicki Gunvalson has her own podcast called My Friend, My Soulmate. My Friend, My Podcast, My Soulmate. My Podcast, My Friend. I don't even know. Kodo Insurance. And it's with Christian Grey Snow. I actually like this podcast because I like Vicki. I know. Vicki's a Ramona to me. Inappropriate, off-putting, annoying, dramatic. Can't get enough. I like a Vicki. I like a Ramona. I like these people. I like these kind of like, I don't know, inappropriate people, I guess. So I enjoyed listening to that podcast, but I really felt for Vicki when she was talking about everything that she went through. We talked about this last week when she survived this like horrible medical crisis and sepsis, etc. But in her podcast episode that I think was released yesterday, she is in Puerto Vallarta. She's feeling better. She has a condo there. She's definitely on the recovery. And they start talking about her appearance on OC this last week. As you guys remember, in the stupidest episode of Real Housewives of OC ever was the Traitors episode. And Vicki talks about her experience. And she said, she really hates that she comes in these shows. She doesn't really know the backstory. She doesn't really know who's fighting with who. She had no idea the backstory of Katie and Heather. She just came in there to do her show. And then she talked about Tamra. She said that Tamra, her actual quote about this, actually, I can just pull it up for you guys because I know I just saw someone posted about it by Wig. Hello Drama, I think. I will just pull it up so you guys can hear it from her mouth. I was going to say from the horse's mouth, but that's just not nice when you're talking about, actually someone. Here is Vicki talking about Tamra on her podcast with Christian Grey Snow.
That one party that Gina had that Tamra was yelling at Shannon, we're all dressed up in
the dinner.
Shannon, see, this is what happens in my brain. Tamra called Shannon a cunt. You and I talked about that, and I think they cut that out. And I went outside and I said to Tom, our producer, I said, I don't know what's going on here. Why is Tamra so upset with Shannon? He's like, we don't really know. It didn't pertain to her. Go back out there and tell them this has got to stop. Women don't treat women this way. I said, that's in my core of who I am. Mm-hmm. But these women are supposed to be friends, and also they're doing a job together. Why is Tamra so involved in what Shannon went through? And I couldn't get an answer from Tamra. Like, why are you making this about you? Because she needs to, because she doesn't have anything going. She won't expose her and Eddie's real problems in their marriage. Oh, because their marriage is perfect? Doubt it. She won't talk about Sydney, who she hasn't seen in years. She doesn't talk. Listen, if my daughter,
that's why she's hateful to other people, because then it scares them to bring up that shit, because they know they see what's coming their way if they bring it up. You know what I mean? I think that's why
my daughter didn't talk to me, I'd be on a flipping plane right now, knocking on her door, begging her for forgiveness, and I don't even care what I did. Sydney has a very strong opinion of Tamra. Stop embarrassing the family. Stop doing what you're doing. Get off the show and we have a chance. Tamra did none of that. So you know what? That shows Sydney, I'm not important to you. I don't care about my money, my stuff, I care about my family, my daughter, my people in my life.
Okay. I actually really do believe Vicki when she says, I don't care about anything but my family, because we've seen this. I do believe she does care about her fame and her money and everything, but I don't believe that she would ever put any of that over her family. Although she did put Brooks over her daughter there for a moment. So I don't know if that's actually a correct statement. I don't know. I'm a mom. If I didn't have a relationship with my sons, nothing else would happen. Like I just don't understand how that works, but it happens. You know, this happens in family dynamics, and I'm not going to judge Tamra for not having a relationship with her daughter. That's their own situation. But they hate each other. It sounds to me like Vicki hates Tamra. Vicki did this like ask me anything on her Instagram stories at the beginning of the weekend, and she was like just talking so much crap about Tamra and about, you know, Teddy, and like, you know, she just doesn't like them. She doesn't like them at all. She thinks Tamra turns on the waterworks about her daughter for the show. And it did make me think, we don't see a lot about Tamara's personal life actually anymore. We don't. Like, why is Eddie not on the show this season? Now, I know that Eddie really did not want Tamara to go back to Real Housewives. From what I remember Tamara saying once, Eddie did not want her back on the show, thought it was, I mean, and I can understand it. Can you imagine how dramatic your life is when you're on a show like this? There's no way that you leave it at work. You don't leave work at work when you're going out on a girls' trip and you're fighting and then coming home and you have to do it for your paycheck. Like 100%. I believe that this is not good for your mental health to be on a reality show. I'm sure the paycheck is really nice, but Eddie did not want Tamara back on Real Housewives, but he allowed her to do it because, you know, you can't stop someone from doing what they want to do at the end of the day. I don't think Eddie wants to be on the show. I don't think he wants to be involved in the show that much. It's a little weird considering he started a podcast with Teddy's husband, but like maybe it's more about business. I don't know. But we'll have to see if Eddie shows up more in the season, because it is weird. Like we really don't see Eddie anymore, and he was like a very big part of the show. But you know, considering Alexis Bellino and Tamra's close relationship now, I can see why Vicki is really on Shannon's side and just really doesn't want to have anything to do with them. I'm curious to see how the season progresses because, of course, in this last Dumbass Traders episode, we saw the three of them having a nice conversation and doing their little Trace Amiga stance. So I'm curious to see where we go from here with them. But obviously, it ain't good. It ain't good, right? So that will be on Thursday. Any other stories? Nikki Bella. We have to talk about this because this is so interesting to me. You guys, I love my doser so much, and I was taking a nap, I think on Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. I was so tired. I was laying in bed taking a nap, and all of a sudden I got a text or a DM from one of you guys saying, Donna, if you think rewatching Bethany Ever After is drama, you have to watch Toto Bellas. Because I had mentioned that I wasn't watching Toto Bellas. I'd never watched the show. I know who Artem is from Dancing with the Stars. I know who Nikki Bella is just because she's a name, but I've never watched the actual show. I said, you know what? We can do hard things. And there's nothing else really on TV right now. I have nothing else to binge. I started watching Toto Bellas. I am almost done with the second season. So you have to understand, don't ruin it for me. I know they don't end up together, but at this point, John Cena is proposing to Nikki. So do not tell me what happens. I know they break up. I know she ends up with Artem, but I don't know why, and I'm not Googling it. Now, I'm watching it on Peacock, but I think you can watch it on Hulu as well if you're interested. They're 42-minute episodes, you know, minus commercials. And the first season, actually both, are a little bit produced. You can tell they're like setting them up, but it's family dynamics. I love that. It's the Bella sisters and their brother JJ. It's all of their marriages and their relationships, having babies, whatever. And then it's their adorable mother and her new husband, Johnny. And I really am into the show. Okay. So I am about to start season 3 and I will continue to watch it, but I'm really getting to know Nikki and I like Nikki a lot. And I don't know if I'm missing something, but I really like Nikki Bella, Nikki Garcia. And I feel so bad after getting to kind of really know her and her sister and her family to hear this crazy story. So obviously, as we talked about it last week, Artem, her husband, Dancing with the Stars pro, was arrested for domestic violence, but we didn't really get the entire story. We know that the son was there. We know this was in Yountville. They have a house there. I guess you find out later on in the show. We find out that, he says in the police report that shoes were thrown at him and this and that. I don't know the details. No one knows the details yet. But what we do know is that she did make a public appearance over the weekend because she was a host of some sort of eating contest, which is kind of interesting, but I'm sure she couldn't get out of it. We saw her enter her airplane with a smile on. She's not wearing her ring in both the hosting gig and then, of course, going onto this plane. And now TMZ is saying that Nikki has been making calls since Friday, and her intention is to file to end her marriage to Artem. She began the search the day after Artem allegedly attacked her, resulting in physical injury that triggered his arrest for felony domestic violence. She hasn't been wearing her ring. And apparently he's not staying at the family home. He's been staying at a friend's house. Nikki is in the family home with their 4-year-old son. We don't have any more information. All we know is that she is apparently looking for a divorce attorney and wants to get a divorce. And you know what? I truly, truly hope that they do divorce, because even if it was an accident, even if it was a heat of the moment, even if it was like a wine-induced night, even if whenever it gets to this point where you have such anger that you're being physical towards each other, whether she threw in anger or threw the shoes in self-defense, whether he fought back in self-defense or in anger, it doesn't matter. If you are in a position where your relationship is physical, I don't believe, after watching Worst Ex Ever on Netflix, I don't believe that you can recover in a real, true way. I don't. I think that it will always come back. It will always, whether or not the actual anger or abuse comes back, the fear of it will. There's been a lot of wording, like a lot of words out there about what kind of a man he is on Dancing with the Stars, how he was as a partner. Apparently, listen, from what I know, my sources on Dancing with the Stars have told me they never saw him yell or be angry, but he wasn't the warmest. Some people are really warm. Some of those dancers are just really kind and warm and wonderful. And he just wasn't that. Gives me a bad vibe, right? It gives me a bad vibe about him. Meanwhile, Dancing with the Stars is releasing their official cast, I think, tomorrow on Good Morning America. Lots of rumors are out there. We know that Anna Delvey from, Inventing Anna is officially a cast member that was released on Page 6. We know that the pommel horse guy from the Olympics, who was doing a Rubik's Cube while he was waiting for his turn, he is definitely on Dancing with the Stars. And there's a couple rumored people that I can't confirm or deny, but you will find out tomorrow. And 2 of them are people we talk about on the show. So I'm very excited for you guys to watch that. And of course, support Dancing with the Stars as we do every season. And finally, tomorrow, well, today's Tuesday. Yeah, tomorrow we'll have other stories to get into. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for subscribing. 475 of you guys are here live. Subscribe. Definitely. I got so many incredible 5-star ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts over the weekend. They made me want to cry. So if you can go on over there and put a 5-star rating or review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, it means the world to me. And I just really, really hope that you guys do that for me. That means the world. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye.